I find the absurdity in this situation.
It was absurd, and it was hilarious.
That, like,
but it's delightful when life is that kind of absurd.
Welcome back to M's Adventures in Storytelling. This is part 4 of 4 parts of the spring update with Jason, the nude art model. This time we discuss nudity, dating, body image. Enjoy.
There's the fact that the people are in the room.
Yeah.
And that really brings out the life of life modeling.
There is a synergy in the room. There's a smell to the room.
Right, exactly. There's a feel to it.
The light of the room itself.
Yes.
Affects how you feel, the mood. And also because it is performance art.
No, it is.
And so every element of it, there's a difference between being on a stage and being on the screen.
And
simple as that.
And I was on stage.
Right.
And it's like the stuff, like you hear, like, the artists talk to themselves. You hear, it's more intimate. The other thing, too, is, again, I live in, like, a high-rise. So there's going to be a lot of ambient noise, people slamming their doors and, cleaning staff coming around vacuuming the hallway carpet, stuff that I can't control, that I'm like, you know what? I appreciate the effort it took to do that, because it allowed a lot of models to continue working throughout the pandemic. And I totally think that's an awesome thing. For me, I got to do it old school. I've got to be in the classroom. I've just got to be.
Yeah, you feel more real.
Yes.
It's a real experience and not virtual. Nothing wrong with the virtual, but it's a real experience.
Like there's the verisimilitude.
Actually, if you do a session where it's free, like what's it called? Open art?
Yeah, open drawing.
Open drawing? I could do a blog article about it.
That's true.
And I can take a photo, not of you, but like blurry.
Yeah, you
of
could
the
do one
thing
of those.
I'm doing, fuzzy. Right. PG on my blog.
Well, I posted the photo the drawing that Samantha did last week. I posted that to the thing, and I was having fun. I was talking with one of my friends, and I was just mulling whether, because she hit me up out of the blue. I hadn't heard from her for probably a couple of months. So she sent me a quick email late last week saying, "Hey, Jason, Judge was thinking about you the other day. Hope you're doing well." She kind of filled me in on her life. And I told her, I said, I do have a photo of a drawing of me, kind of, mulling whether or not, I want to post it. And she said, do it, and she said, if you want to, if you felt necessary, you could blur out your
put a black bar across your butt.
I love the way she said it, because she's like, if you felt like it, you could blur out the naughty bits, and then she said something like, it was almost like, but what you're doing is so cool, I don't think you should do that.
And also, people's imagination is much worse.
Right.
I mean, really.
Well, that's exactly it.
They would assume there was something. I mean, there's nothing naughty in it anyway.
Well, no, there's nothing. Well, first of all, that one was a picture of my backside. But even if you're talking about a full frontal type thing,
well, yes, but for Facebook, you would have to blur that.
No, I posted some full frontals before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I talked with my art model friend about this, and she said,
if
it's a photo, it's probably going to get if it's an actual film photo, it's going to get the orbital death strike.
Yeah.
If it's and I think, I don't remember if she said.
I see. Okay.
I don't remember if she said it happened to her. It might have happened to a friend of hers, where I think the woman was in costume, and I guess she just had a bit of a nip slip, like it wasn't even there, but it was enough for, I guess, the algorithm or whatever to say, do that. She just said, hey, full frontal, it's always possible you may run afoul of the censors, but you're probably in a much safer place in that regard, because they're people's drawings. It's not like the real thing. The second thing is it's art. You can make
and you're going to warn people ahead of time.
Well, that's it. Well, you know what I do? I curate who can see those posts.
Okay, good.
Specifically, the people who I know have expressed an interest in it. Most of whom are actually women, now that I kind of think about it.
Because men, there aren't that many men, I would think, that are, I don't know, that's so weird. I mean, because there are a lot of male artists, but maybe they're not comfortable with, maybe they're not so comfortable with seeing
or
nude
maybe,
men.
Right, especially maybe if it's somebody you know, as opposed to, like, well, the women all know me, too.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how men are about that.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, when you're in the locker room, where do you all just check each other out?
Well, I don't know about that because I don't.
Okay.
Do talk, but I know what you're saying. But I mean, the other thing too is like, okay, look, it's one of those things. You know, you do something like that.
I think men would feel like other people, it would be creepy. I think not that other people would judge them as creepy, but it would just be a creepy thing to do.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Because they think maybe maybe they think it's gratuitous.
No, I just think they would think, why would you look at another man when he's not wearing clothing? But if you're looking at, but on the other hand, it's an art piece.
Yeah, well, that's exactly
Why wouldn't you?
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. And like I said, this is all just anecdotal, just from like my recollection. I could go back to those photos, and it could be like a 60-40 split or a 55-45 split.
But maybe it's also the people you know.
Well, that's it. It's everybody.
Maybe the people you know, maybe the men you know are not interested in that.
It could, and it could, and that's just it. It could be very well be, and it not like even like from like a homophobia standpoint, but just from a simple like I'm just not. It's not me.
Maybe you don't know a lot of male artists.
Right. Yeah.
Or male artsy people.
Well, yeah, that could be.
Right. I mean, of the people you know, maybe those interested in your art career or modeling are predominantly female.
Well, I think that's it. And it could even be from a simple fact that, like, you know, people are thinking, yeah, hey, I'm a guy. I know what naked guys look like. You know, I see one in the mirror every day. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even.
Yeah, but that's separate than looking at something that's an artwork.
Well, I think that's it. Maybe they're so prosaic about it that they don't make the deeper dive into, hey, it is a work of art. But no, I thought multiple people say, hey, I love those photos. I love those drawings you post. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm really flattered about that.
Yeah, it's nice to see artwork.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's coming from a woman. You know, in this case, as someone who's attracted, is attracted to women.
Yeah.
That, it's kind of like, okay, well,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, just from the sense like, okay, I'm not revolting anybody. They're they think that this is.
It's so funny. Oh, so you could use this as your profile photo.
Yeah.
On a dating site.
Yeah. Well, from the
Would you do that?
Like a full nude drawing,
No.
or just like from the neck up?
Yeah.
I would see. I would actually prefer to do that because that's going to make people think, hey, he's got a painting of himself or a sketch of himself.
Yeah.
As opposed
or
to
he knows how to use the program on the computer.
Right, but it's not
filter.
Right, but it's not like a caricature. It's not a.
Yeah.
It's an actual drawing. So people are going to think, however this was drawn, there was some sort of skill behind it. I think
you need to explain it's not a filter. Because you can easily turn something.
Oh yeah, I've had one of those.
Yeah.
I've got like one. It's a watercolor one that does that, which is really cool. But yeah, I don't. I would definitely let them know that's a painting of me and that it's not a. No, this was not done. This was not computer generated. This is the real McGilla that was done in a 3-hour art class, labor of love.
Yeah. Well, it'll be really interesting to chat with you as you adventure out on your dating adventures.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have a lot to talk about once probably the biggest thing to talk about would be the fact that just like the pre-work in getting myself established with all of those websites, coming up with some witty banter for like the prompts to the questions.
Yeah, I guess they're sort of like it's like doing a job application.
Well, pretty much, because you want something that's like not generic. You want something that's like, I want to, they stop on my profile. I need something to keep them there long enough to start taking a look and I think, hey, this guy's interesting. He's got funny stuff. Then it kind of like, as opposed to just like random generic profile number 27.
Well, do you like sunsets?
Stuff like that. It's like the people who would do.
Do you like travel, sunsets, and
getting caught in the rain,
and getting caught in the rain,
yes.
or red wine and steak dinners?
Oh, I can't
all
tell
of that
you
stuff.
How many profiles I used to see that were something like, yeah, I can do dive bars, but I can do fancy restaurants. And I'm like, wow, aren't you just a Renaissance person? Yeah, wow, alpha, omega. And again, I'm just talking in terms of the women. I'm sure with the guys, it's the exact same thing. Yeah, I like football, but I like to do this. And whereas like, one of the comments that I used to get fairly consistently from people when they looked at my profile is like, it's funny, it's entertaining, it's lively. It took some thought to go ahead and put into it. But I thought it's just like...
But it itself is an art piece.
Oh, it is.
Your online profile is an art piece as well. So it's just like writing a book or doing a stage play. All of it takes a certain amount of skill. Yeah, so that'll be interesting too. I want to read your profile.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely send it to you once I've got it done. I mean, I'll probably end up I'll probably use more than one surface, so it's service, so there's going to be more than one
Or we
profile.
can talk about it. You can give me a couple of the, the standard questions, and then
what I
you
respond
put.
to.
Yeah,
Right.
what you put.
Because a lot of them I'm sure going to have the same prompts and questions. You know, what would you do if you won $1 million? What would you do if, this, that? What's your favorite? All that stuff. So,
Yeah, because that is a creative exercise right there.
Yeah.
That has more at stake.
Well, I think we definitely salvaged this from the initial technological glimpse. I mean, we've gone above and beyond. I think it's
we've covered a lot, and I will post, instead of repeating it about when you would last minute gig and you had to borrow your friend's bathrobe, which turned out to be a satin pale pink flowered bathrobe and several sizes too small.
With no belt.
Which is kind of hysterical. And then you posted the photo of you in it, and nobody thought it was funny except for me.
Right, which I wanted people to find it was funny, because I thought it was funny.
They didn't find it funny. They just thought it was cute.
They thought it was empowering, I think, with all the little hearts. And I'm thinking...
Yes, that is true. They did find it empowering.
And I'm glad they did, and I'm certainly glad they didn't laugh at it mean-spiritedly, but I'm like, I find the absurdity in this situation.
It was absurd, and it was hilarious. But it's delightful when life is that kind of absurd.
Right. It's I'm filling in last minute. My body is sore.
You've been working out, so you're really not into it.
So I really wanted to
You're not in the mental space. You have to snap into the mental space.
Right. I have to turn the switch on. And then I'm thinking, I don't have my modeling bag with me. So my friend said...
So you don't have your towel, your slippers.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
You don't have any of your stuff.
Because the floors in those places are filthy. And I really missed having my flip-flops. But the absurdity, you're doing this, and then, you're going to be nude in a couple of minutes. But before you do that, you're going to dress in a women's bathroom. That's really obvious women's bathrobe that's several sizes too small. Has
no belt, so you're going to clutch it.
So I have to clutch it, and
you have to try to be serious about this, because it's a very serious thing you're doing.
Oh, and it was
and not awkward.
Oh, when I was on breaks.
And professional.
Yeah, and it's I'm like, this is not some sort of I'm not trying to be goofy or anything. This is just, and it was to the point where when I sat down for my breaks, I had to make sure to, frankly, grab the robe, because I'm frankly spilling out of it, because it's just...
Yeah, you should have actually worn it almost like a shorts.
Yeah, that's probably what I should have done.
Like a sarong.
Like a sarong, you just kind of roll it up, and then you do... In retrospect, that's probably what I should have done.
I mean, how much experience do you have wearing...
women's
robes that are too small for you?
And I didn't even think of it at the time. It was just one of those I'm going to spend most of my time not wearing it than I am wearing it, so I'll muscle through it. Oddly enough, nobody gave me any funny looks or anything like that. Hey, is this some sort of bit? Are you
Nobody thought it was weird that you were.
I'm sure I'm sure they did. I'm sure they chose not to say anything.
But this was the class where they were all new, right?
Yes.
New students.
Well, I shouldn't say it was a beginner's class, but I will say I did see some people's drawings, and they look pretty darn good. So I don't think they were total novices. These were probably people who maybe drew or painted back in the day, and then they took a 10-year hiatus. There was one woman, and she was talking to the professor a lot. And I thought, she's got to be really green, because clearly she's asking a lot of questions. Well, I saw her rolling up some of the drawings because she had to leave. Those were good drawings.
Wow.
Yeah, so maybe she was coming back to it after a while.
Yeah, a lot of people, if they've had a long break, they just sign up for beginner because they don't want to presume, or they're not allowed to sign up for a more advanced class until they've shown what they want.
Because you got to it's a prerequisite if you want to take drawing 104, you got to take drawing 101 or
it could
whatever.
be. Yeah.
No, but it was just so funny that I'm like, I remember there was it was I'm wearing all of this, and then for the next 3 hours I'm going to spend my time not wearing it.
Yeah.
I find the humor in that, because that's something, if you were to ask the random person off the street, okay, you're going to get into a robe for somebody from a different gender. It's not going to fit correctly. By the way, there's no belt. It's going to be really awkward when you move, because parts of you are going to be spilling out. And you're going to go to this room in front of 10 or 15 people you've never met before, and you're going to be nude. And then most people would be like, wait, no, I'm done dreaming. Wake
what?
up.
Yeah, what just happened here?
Right.
But you know what this also could mean? It could also mean that in this very, I don't want to say woke time, but in this very aware time, that nobody thinks it's weird. Maybe it is not a gender confusion. Because when we think of looking at a man like you, that you should be wearing a deep mahogany or
almost like a smoking jacket.
Or bathrobe that is large and single color or plaid in a dark color.
Yeah,
maybe the gender it's not gender specific.
And it could have been one of those things, like just like you were getting at, that like, hey, people realize, hey, different strokes for different folks. It's not hurting me. I don't care about it.
Yeah.
And clearly he doesn't, so we're all happy.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that's something, if I were doing this in a general college class, I would have been a lot more self-conscious for a variety of reasons.
Right. But this is a place where they are going there willingly. It's not...
And paying. It's not like...
they're paying for it, and this is a specific thing. It's not like you're in the general public.
Right.
These are kids who just have been forced to take a class. No.
Right. Where it's like, okay, academic advisor says I need another general education credit. I guess I'll just take intro to drawing because it's later in the evening. And
nobody's like
no,
that.
Everybody's a professional. I can't think of... I think it's been extremely rare where I recall any like snickering and in some cases it was more like nervous laughter. Like, and when I say that, I'm not talking like people like getting in my face, ha ha ha, but you kind of hear some things in the background just a little bit. But you could tell, okay, this is them. I think one of them was that class where I had the professor who's having them do the 5-second gestures.
Oh, okay.
Because it was more of a nervous kind of energy, like, kind of...
they were already, wound up.
And then he thought, okay, well, let's do this boot camp style, and it's going to knock the jitters out of them.
Good icebreaker.
Yeah, it was.
Just get them, it's kind of like making people do jumping jacks.
You're right.
At the beginning of the class. You get people energized.
Yeah, get the blood flowing, get them warmed up. Now you're ready to go do...
Yeah, and now that's why they have icebreakers. And that makes me think, actually, instead of icebreakers, they should just make people do jumping jacks if they physically can.
Yeah.
Just do like 5 jumping jacks, and people would be... ice would be broken.
Right. Oh, I haven't done this since high school.
Exactly, and that would just be, instead of all these awkward stuff like, okay, imagine you're a mammal.
Yeah, what mammal would you be?
Yeah, you're not a human.
If you were
what would you describe it?
If you were a glass of fruit juice, which flavor would you be?
Exactly.
I hate that crap. Like, this is
agonizing stuff. Yeah, just do something physical.
It's like you're not even being creative. It's not like you're being creative. I don't find it creative, and I don't find it's like one of those things where some people do it because it forces yourself to get creative and open your mind, and I get that. But for the type of stuff you and I are thinking of, no. It's just like, look, do we have to do this? Like, well, it'd be like, well, stand up, say your name, where you're from, and one interesting fact about yourself.
There are times when that is the icebreaker. I'm like, that's not an icebreaker.
No, that's just, and frankly, the most interesting thing I have to say is something that is not for discussion.
Yeah, well, I've also done icebreakers where they give you a little sentence. You have to draw from a hat, and the little sentence is, what's my ideal vacation? Where was I? What's my best memory from when I was 10?
See, that has the exact opposite effect that I think the intention is. Yeah. It's just to make this is just a bunch of hokey crap. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like answering them sarcastically almost, and it's like, I get why people are trying to do that. For me, it just feels forced.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, no, really. I think they should do the 5 jumping jacks, or, everyone stand up and try to touch your toes. That's going to make us all laugh.
Right. It's like,
a lot of us can't do it. And then there you go.
Then, hey, now that you guys are all laughing and feeling good, my name's Frank. We're here today because we need to do X, Y, and Z.
Now that the ice is broken.
Yep.
Yeah, and maybe your backs. Let's all sit down. So we've solved another world problem right there.
Yes.
Icebreakers. Okay, this is good. We've got about 2 hours of recording, which I will cut down to less.
Do you want to have like a phone version of this at some point just to catch up on the stuff that got cut out that we didn't have a chance to talk
think
about?
so, you know.
Or save it for...
No, I mean, like, there'll be other episodes.
Yeah, where we can...
His voice is really carrying. That guy, wow. Well, it's good we're going to have to stop this because that voice is really carrying.
Yeah.
And no, I think that we're good. And those, you know, to you, they're all individually interesting stories, but I don't know how interesting they are. You know, you're back in it, and you know, next time there'll be other experiences, and we'll catch up again on your continued midlife crisis.
I'm just glad that we were able to go ahead and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, because when you said that, I figured they were operating from two separate channels.
No.
It's like,
but it's good you said the thing about the airplane mode, because now I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're going through me practicing, and I actually had even considered putting the other microphones on us as well, just to be absolutely sure. Yes.
Yeah, because what I figured was like, the video and audio are two separate channels, so we just lose the video.
No, because I don't have that much fancy stuff. I do have that much fancy stuff, but I don't want to carry it around with me.
Right.
But this arm is very useful, I think.
I
hope.
No, I think we definitely...
but yeah, I think we've got good stuff, and I'm really hoping the audio will be nice and clear. And it looks like it. There seem to be good striations, big troughs and... What is the other? Peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was almost... I almost want to say we had like a better... It actually worked out for the best in the end. Okay, you know what? Now that we realized that we had a whole, 20 minutes, whatever it was, that is lost time.
Yeah, but...
Well, hey, we make the best of it.
Yeah. I think we managed to sort of recoup it. And then next time, if we need to go back and talk about whatever, then we will.
Do you want to just split it in half again?
So, well, on this, thanks for... I don't even have to do post-production if I just say, thanks for listening to M's Adventures in Storytelling. Today's guest was Jason, the nude art model. If you want to hear the other 5 episodes, find them on wherever you listen to podcasts or on YouTube on madventures.me. And until next time, ciao for now.